Give yourself permission to say no. I know a lot of times people commit to things and they sign up for events or activities or they give their word that they're going to be there. But then circumstances change. And as you get closer to the date, or sometimes even on the day of, you realize either you don't have the energy to do this, you no longer have the desire, or you don't have the capacity. But sometimes you just push through because you say, well, I already said yes. But I want you to give yourself permission to also say no. If you are not going to be your best, and if you would be happier to not go to the event, then honor your own happiness and your own well-being. And sometimes that requires making tough decisions. On Saturday, I really wanted to go to an event. I had all the desire in the world. I knew it would be a lot of fun, but I did not have the physical capacity. I didn't have the energy. I was exhausted. So I had to say no. And yes, I threw an apology. I apologized a couple times actually, because there's multiple people involved. But at the end of the day, as soon as I said no, I realized it was the best decision because I was tired and I went to sleep nice and early and I slept for the entire night. So clearly my body needed it. So I want you to evaluate, how are you using your body's signals to indicate whether you should or should not be taking on more activities, more work. We have to really prioritize sleep because sleep is the foundation of our physical well-being, but it also connects to our mental well-being. And so if you're not getting enough sleep, if you don't have enough energy, it's going to be really hard to show up in a vibrant and authentic and contributive manner anyways. And so, you've ever been to some of those events, and sometimes you go to these events and you talk to someone and you're like, why are you here? Like, it would have been better if you stayed home. Maybe their energy's off, or they're negative, or the vibe is just not vibing. And so sometimes maybe that person just needed to sleep, or maybe they just needed to say no and stay home instead. So don't be that person. You get to decide for yourself and just give yourself permission to back out of events when necessary. Now, am I saying to just back out of every single event? No. And another tip for you is, instead of having to back out of events, maybe don't give a yes. I learned this from one of my friends. They just take a really long time to commit to things. And yes, this can be annoying for the organizer and everybody else. But from their perspective, they don't want to commit to something and then back out. So they will not tell you yes until they know for sure they're coming, usually the day before or sometimes the day of. Now, this might not always be possible depending on what the situation is, what the event is, or the activity is. But sometimes we're giving, commitments really early, like sometimes months in advance. And I also think that's a little bit unfair sometimes too, because I don't know what's going to be happening in my life in 2 or 3 months. Should I be committing to a social event now? If it's for work or something, maybe. But even still, those things change too. So everything is subject to change. So give yourself permission, not only to just say no, but subject to change. Until next time, continue to serve yourself, your loved ones, and your communities from a full cup.